Okay, so I'm going to talk to you today about how I built a morning routine that I not only enjoyed, I actually want to do now. Oops. Mind you, don't drop that. And just talk through some tips of how I achieved that, really. So, first of all, how do you feel in the morning? If you feel like this, I want you to come and shake my hand afterwards. But please don't do it wearing lycra, thank you. I'm guessing most of you feel more like this. I don't know if you can see that. It's someone being pulled out of bed. This is certainly how I used to feel in the mornings, and it's why I started looking at a morning routine. Okay. The next thing to think about is, how do you want to feel? And then set your routine accordingly. As Lara said this morning, there's no point building something that you don't need. So you need to really think about what your goals are. The next thing is to be realistic. So I'm going to get up at 6:30 to go for a run, said everyone. I got up at 6:30 to go for a run, said one very smug person. Now, chances are, look at the odds, right? The chances are you're not that person. You need to work with who you are, okay? And what's the first thing that every self-respecting designer or developer will do when they're starting a project? They will look around and see what's already there, what they can borrow to make their life easier. Like, there's no point in reinventing the wheel, right? So let's see what we can do. After all, do you want to be this person? So to be successful, I'm up at 5 a.m. to do a full workout, meditate, and plan. Or do you want to be this person? Shush, I'm sleeping. I know who I'd rather be. So as you can see, these are a lot of tools that I use to help me hack my morning routine. I don't have time to go into them all now, but I'll maybe stick them on a blog or something. But there's one key theme, actually. Everything there is 10 minutes or less. And that's quite important, I think, for most of us in the morning. The other thing is, they're all either apps or YouTube videos, so therefore free. So you don't even have to spend a lot to get yourself going. The next thing is to work out what you enjoy. And yeah, I've taken the project plan sort of theme as well. So find what feels good. And use the kind of agile loop. I thought there'd be more agile people in here today, actually. There's not too many of you. But the idea is you try something, and if it doesn't work, try something else. So I'm just going to talk through how I managed to make meditation a thing for me. So a bit like Sarah, actually, I am terrible at meditation, yeah? And when I started, I actually resented it. I don't like being told to sit still. I don't like being told when to breathe. I don't really like to be told to stop thinking, because that's just, it's what we all do, but it's what I base my career on, I don't even like sitting upright, because I have a bad back, and after a while, it hurts. So I'd just basically sit there, and a few minutes later, I'd be like, oh God, my back really hurts. Oh, this is really uncomfortable. And then I'd go, okay, I need to breathe. Yeah, meditation, great. And then I'd be like, oh, that thing my boss said yesterday, that was really bad. I can't believe it. I'm so offended. Why did I not pick all that up on the time, And so on. So I basically realized that this way of doing meditation with an app for 10 minutes, sitting up, big fat no. So I could have given up there, but no, I decided I will try something else. So I tried writing notes before I started, and that's a really good thing to do. I would recommend that. So write everything down that's on your mind. Get that boss out of your mind. Cross it out, all your to-do list, because that always used to come up. Damn, I haven't sent that email. Get all that out, and it's really good. And I tried it lying down, because after all, it's my meditation. Just because everyone else looks like that, I don't have to, And again, 10 minutes, still with these apps, which incidentally I found very annoying. So better, but still no for me. So then I just thought, well, I'm going to have to think of this quite differently. So I went on YouTube and I had a look around, and I found this absolutely lovely video that was just a gong playing. And it's 5 minutes. That was key for me, 5 minutes. I wasn't being forced to do something for so long. I can do it lying down in bed, and I do, actually. And every time your mind wanders, the gong chimes again, and it brings you back. And it's actually a really pleasant experience. So for me, that was the thing. And now I've got to the point where sometimes I even do it twice, because I like it that much. So, and sometimes you don't have to experiment. Sometimes you find the right thing straight away. So I do the 5-minute journal every morning with a coffee in bed. And yep, that works. Another thing to think about that was quite key for me was the scalability. So I've touched on that. So I see it as a bit like a core module and some add-ons. The absolute baseline for me is the 5-minute journal. That is the big thing for me that makes a difference to my life. And then each day I wake up and I think, okay, what do I feel like doing? And I select from 1 to maybe 3 of those things that are on the list. But crucially to that as well, they're scalable too. So, you can base it on how much time you've got, whether your back hurts, that sort of thing, whether you're knackered. And what I found was, because of this approach, when I went through the initial lack of motivation, which you will, after a few weeks you'll go, oh, I can't be arsed, I just kept it to a 5-minute journal, 5-minute meditation, and a 5-minute morning yoga. And I did that for about 3 weeks. And what had happened then was I formed a habit. And then 3 weeks later, after 3 weeks, I woke up and one day and thought, I feel like doing a bit more yoga today. And that's built up. And then, I started doing these dance workouts and crazy, But the point is, there's no routine. And that helps you build a habit, I think, more than anything else. Okay, so the last thing really is to recognize that your morning doesn't happen in isolation. I mean, we all know that. And key things for me were sorting out my sleep, which is quite a good book there. There's loads of them, though. And also sorting out my evening routine. So the morning journal, the 5-minute journal, has an evening section and takes a couple of minutes, but it gets you into the right mindset. And I realized yesterday that this actually looks quite off-putting and ominous, but it's not really how I meant it to be. The key point of that is you need to work out what's affecting you. And for me, it was too much screen time, and I expect for most of you here, really. So now I don't look at a phone or a laptop after about 9 at night, and that's made a huge difference to me. I also don't eat late. I wasn't really drinking a lot in the week anyway, but I mean, I'm not saying never go out and have fun, but just bear in mind that if you're doing it every night, it's going to affect you, and it's going to take away your ability to do a morning routine effectively. Okay. So, where am I now? I've been doing this for about 6 months, I would say, in all these different forms. I would love to stand here and tell you that I am now the CEO of a multinational, and I'm in this amazing relationship with some kind of Adonis, and all these things that we all want. But the fundamental truth is that my life hasn't actually changed that much. What has changed is how I look at it. So I am more content. I am definitely happier, and that was an issue for me. I'm going to be quite open here. I did battle with depression. I still do sometimes, but overall, I'm a lot more positive. I'm also getting fitter. I'm getting more energized because, I start the day doing at least 10 minutes of yoga or 10 minutes of exercise. It's not much. It doesn't feel like a lot. But actually then, I start the day feeling like, yeah, I'm ready to go. And instead of having that kind of nervous energy that I always had, and you can see a little of now probably, it's definitely a more positive one. I'm more productive, I'm more focused. But it's helping my work. But I am actually starting up a business. I am finding the time to do these things. I teach part-time anyway, and things like that, and I'm finding that I can fit it all in a lot more easily. So I would say, if you're not happy with every aspect of your life, look at what you can change. Just do tiny little changes. I'm aware a lot of people have kids or, commutes and things like that. So just try 5 minutes. Because I think the changes that have happened to me have just meant that I have won at mornings. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I've got a couple of questions, but I'm going to just check if anybody else wants to jump in before me. Any burning questions? Yes, please.
I do keep the routine at the weekends. I've actually got to the point where I wake up and as I said, I want to do it. It's actually hinged into my life. It's part of it. And if anything, I do it more at the weekends. So I'm more likely to do. I should have explained what the TRX was. It's these kind of weightlifting strap things. So I'm more likely to do that at the weekend because that once you do need to do a warm up and cool down for that. So even if you're just doing a 10-minute session, it would be 20 really, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm more likely to do that. And I'm probably more likely to spend longer doing the meditation and things like that too. So yeah, and the other beauty of it, because it's all YouTube and app-based, is even when I went on holiday, I could take it with me. I did it this morning at my sister's house. You know, you don't have to have special equipment. You don't have to take time out of your life to go out in the cold to a cold changing room, to stand in the gym for half an hour, and which are also really cold always. and generally, you know, take 2 hours of an evening to do an hour workout. So I find it really efficient as well, time-wise.
Great, thank you. And coming in on the back of that, you know, breaking it up and doing something slightly different at the weekend, a really nice idea that you had in the middle of your deck was you help the habituation of something by not having routine.
Yes, it's
that's
the irony,
superb.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
My
yeah.
morning routine isn't actually a routine.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, because I think that can be a blocker for people. So I've read people's blogs on morning routines, and they have literally said, I get up at 5 so I can do an hour on Fitness Blender, and then I can meditate for 20 minutes, and then do whatever, I don't know, write some lists and plan my focus for the day and all this. And I'm like, for one, who wants to do that? and two, you know, it's too much of a challenge. You're not going to wake up. Most of us aren't going to wake up and do that, I don't think. So. Oh yeah, all that stuff.
Like psychopathic.
Yeah.
No.
And my experience of people who can do that is possibly they are a little bit psychopathic. Probably shouldn't say that on camera. But yeah.
I wonder, because that was actually one of the other things I was going to ask you. After you've got good at this for like 3-4 years, and you found this sustainable routine for you, do you think maybe there's an addictive quality to it and you want the next level? You want to win even more at mornings and you'll find some extra things to build in? Or does that way psychopathy lie?
Well, no, I would say so, because I think that's already happening. You know, as I said, you know, I started out just doing 15 minutes of 3 different things. But now I am as likely to do, you know, 10 minutes of yoga and then 10 minutes of dance as I was back at the initial stage to do 5 minutes of yoga.
Okay.
Because I think what happens is you get stronger physically and mentally anyway. And so the next level up is actually easier than it was starting out in the first place, you know?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So.
Any more questions, please? There was a wave at the back. That was a wave or a question? Just a wave, good. Question, please.
It's a good question. So I've been doing it about 6 months, and I haven't had any periods where I've stopped because literally I could just do a 5-minute journal if I wanted to. I've actually, on some days I do just do that, but it's very rare. It'll probably be if I've got to get up early to travel, so if I've got to get up at 6 anyway, something like that. But yeah, because I've made it manageable, I haven't had a break in that. Yeah, because actually, if you're going to sit there and go, I'm going to do, there's this person on YouTube called Adrienne. She does yoga with Adrienne. She's got everything you could possibly want to do in yoga. You could, you know, name your thing. You could be like depression, I've got a bad back, or I've got anxiety today, or, you know, I need to focus, or I need to stretch my hips. You know, even hangover. She's got one for hangover. But the way I see it is she does a 5-minute morning routine, which is actually quite easy, but it gives you a boost. And I think to do that is quicker than the time it takes to think of excuses not to. So that's key for me, definitely.
Thank you.
That's all right.
I've got to move us on, but that was fascinating. Please put your hands together for Tejay. Thank you.
Thank you.